I'm here with my beautiful friend Dana, and we're here today to talk about embracing change and transforming our income and why we're doing this and what that means to us. And it's a really powerful conversation. We've just been talking already for about 15 minutes. We really got into it. So we're going to share with you all the things that we discussed. And we live in a time of change. We live in a time of great change where there's been so much change to the structures and systems within which we live after the pandemic. Our medical systems, our school systems, our just systems of support, the ways that we make money. So many people have shifted careers. There's so much change going on in the world. And there's a reason for this. And the reason for this is that we need change. We need change in the world and in our lives in order to transform. And we've stepped into working with a company that is way ahead of the curve from an evolutionary perspective. They are not only embracing change in the way that people are having nutrition provided to them, the quality of the nutrition that's provided to them, the produce and the superfoods that we use in our nutrition are all grown in regenerative soil. It's all organic. It's watered with mineralized ash water. The food and the soil and the water is cared for in such a way that you end up with an end produce or food that is so nutrient dense and so pure and so premium that you're literally taking in the cleanest food that you've ever consumed. And at the same time, using that same whole food nutrition and some prebiotics and some probiotics, humic and fulvic acid to really cleanse and detox very gently your body's organ systems on the inside as well. And we're not going to get too much into the product today, but we are going to talk about our way of coming into this way of eating, kind of our transformation of how we eat and what that looks like for us, and how that transformation and that metamorphosis has brought us into a new way of looking at how we are producing income in our lives and what that means to us. So I'm just going to start off with 6 quick tips of embracing change. This is probably happening in all areas of everybody's life right now. We're embracing change. And so the first one is that change is integral. So really embracing the reality of change in our society today with post-pandemic life. You know, we're all dealing with it in some way or another. So when you can step into a place, instead of kind of complaining and being stuck about the change, where you're really embracing change in your life, that is your first step towards a change and a transformation, being successful in your life. Additionally, being open-minded, right? When we're in a spot where we know we need change or we're seeing change happen, having that open-mindedness and that open heart to really just know that there's other ways. Every moment contains an infinitesimal number of possibilities within it of what choices you can make and what the outcome might be. So open-mindedness, also a really important point. Changing your behaviors. So in order to step into change, there is action that must be taken. You must take action and you must change your behaviors in order for that change to happen. And so letting that reality kind of settle and sink in is really important. Being solution minded. So if I'm feeling I need changes and these are the struggles I'm facing and the challenges, what are the solutions to those challenges and those struggles? Tapping into your imagination and your creativity and being experimental with your life, like really being willing to try some different things and a little bit of trial and error, and really just stepping into some contemplation of what's possible and envisioning what's possible. And finally, having faith, having shraddha, as they say in yogic practice. We really work on this, having faith in these moments to maintain a positive aspect. You know, the universe has your back. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about this today. I'm not sure if you have anything to add to that, Dana, just about like the process of change or like any important point for yourself that you've really embraced, like a way of embracing change for yourself. Is there anything that you've done that really helped you step into this choice to make a change with the ways that you eat coming into Purium and this lifestyle?
I think for me, what inspired me to create change in my life was I just wasn't living to my fullest potential or to what I thought life could be. You know, it's like you see sometimes the people living a different life. Like my aunt, I used to look at my aunt. She'd always be so happy and so grateful and so in love. She'd be singing and laughing, and I'd be like, man, clearly she's doing something I'm not. Like, okay, so what can I do to, live more like that? And like, and seeing people live in their careers and something they're passionate about and love, I'm like, okay, they're doing it. I could do it. Seeing people, like make conscious decisions for their health, for their bodies, looking a certain way that they feel confident in and that they feel, like proud to be themselves. I'm like, okay, that's available to me. It's like just recognizing that, like, or taking like an inventory of your life of like, hey, this is where I'm good, this is where I'm not, this is where I'd like to change, this is, and then just like you said, all of those points, and then figuring out how to do it, be confident, like be willing, number one, to go through discomfort. Change is the most uncomfortable thing in the world. Like you're not going to say, hey, I want this to be different, and it's going to be easy and it's going to be no stress and it's going to be, not saying it's got to be stress, but it's going to be uncomfortable in the feelings that you like come to every day, with the decisions that you need to make, with like, when it comes to eating, the easiest thing, it's like, okay, am I going to eat that cookie or am I going to choose something different? It's an uncomfortable decision to not eat that cookie. But if you want that change and you want to have more energy and you want to have better sleep and you want to feel more vitalized in life, like not eating that cookie in that moment is going to create that change. So it's like being mindful and graceful with yourself, even though you want change and you've decided on change, doesn't mean you got to be perfect in that change day one, right? It's like, okay, I've decided on
Absolutely.
my health journey, and then I've eaten that cookie 5 times out of 10. Now I eat that cookie 1 time out of 10. It's like a progression, and it's like to
Yeah.
have love and grace for, you're human. You're not a robot. It's like this takes time, and it's like I think that's a thing that we all struggle with. It's like, well, we want change, we want it now. But it's like,
Like the
no, my
judgment,
love.
right? It's like the
Yeah,
blame.
judgment.
For me, it's like that blame and that shame kind of complex that comes in. And I liken it to like the grading system in the school system, where it's like we're really taught from a very early age
Mm,
to learn things and then expect this process of judgment. And so I think
yep,
it's something that we learn how to place upon ourselves from a very early age. And transformation and evolution is a slow moving cog of the wheel. So, like you said, it's step by step. Like, yes, of course, you're going to fall back down. It's like a baby learning to walk.
mhm,
Of course, you're going to fall back down and have to get back up. Of course, you're going to eat that cookie. Of course, you're going to, a lot of people struggling through addiction. Of course, you're going to bounce back in and have a drink. And then you're going to feel like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. And that is a really important moment, like you said. Oh, I wish I hadn't done that. And if you move into a place of self judgment where you start to question your decision and you start to feel bad, like you've done something wrong because you made a mistake, you're going to spend a lot longer in that place. But if you
yeah,
can kind of reprogram yourself and hack yourself back to moving from a place of, oh, I wish I hadn't done that, into a solution mindset of, and because I wish I hadn't done that, I'm going to bounce right back to where I was, because then you're building that muscle of stepping back into your power. And then the
totally.
more and more and more you start to build that muscle, then the longer you're able to stay in alignment with what you envision yourself doing. And that was absolutely my experience of stepping into this nutrition. I was drinking heavily. I was caring for my mom in hospice. I was drinking heavily. I was not eating well. I was working while taking care of my mom. So like my time was nil. I already didn't have a lot of time to eat. And I found these foods because I needed to give something to my mom that she could keep down. She was on like 30 plus medications and she was able to consume it and keep it down. And it was a quick way for me to give her, like have her hitting all of her nutritional bases. And so I had like a brief experience of the lifestyle being really efficient and really convenient and honestly like faster than fast food. And so I
Mhm.
did that and I gave that to her. And long story short, a couple years later, she did extend her life a couple more years that we were able to spend with her. But when she did pass, I remember thinking to myself, I have been pouring into my mom and I've been pouring into all these kids that I've taught and pouring into the school system as a teacher and pouring into these nanny kids that I take care for and pouring into my own children, as a single mom. And it just hit me. Why am I not doing this for myself? Why am I not caring for myself? And I had a pre-diabetic diagnosis. I had my A1C3 was really high and I was having a lot of joint pain and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I knew I needed a change. I had that experience of like change is necessary right now. Like I
Mhm.
need to do something and I changed my behavior. I just said to myself, I'm going to do this as a first step to changing all these behaviors. And if I can replace these habits and ways of consuming that are not serving me anymore with a way of consuming that is going to serve me in the best possible way, then who knows what's possible for me. And
Mhm.
so once I did that, and once I was like, 60, 90 days in, I was like, this is my life. Like, this is it for me. Like, it made me feel so good. I wasn't drinking as much anymore. I was still stumbling and falling on my ass, and making mistakes and having that experience that we just talked about of having to pull back into alignment. But I, for the first time in decades, had the experience of feeling whole. And I could feel these aspects of myself, my home, my raw being unlocking back up. And I started dancing more again, and I started writing music again, and I started doing yoga again and making friends again in a way that I hadn't for years. I had really isolated in my life. And that transformation was so impactful for me that people started noticing, what are you doing? What like what's happening with you, And I suddenly realized how many people need transformation and need change in their life. And now that I've really stepped into the business and I've been providing this nutrition and this self-care and this self-realization support for people, it just occurred to me like I really am like in line and I'd love to help other people, come into this place. Like that's one of the best things about Purium and what we're stepping into and any business like this that's like in full integrity, um, is that it can only grow from an evolutionary perspective. This work of regenerating the earth and this work of regenerating the way that we nurture each other and help each other walk each other home to self-realization and self-healing, and this way that we can walk each other into income security and location freedom and time freedom within being your own boss, you know it's priceless and it's so needed in the world. Um,
Mhm.
and I know that you've just made the decision. Dana is becoming a brand partner right now, has just become a brand partner with Purium and is able to be offering the superfoods to the people that she knows and the people that she loves. And she's already a life guide as well, and has been doing some other work that she's now stepping out of and really embracing this work. And I would love, Dana, to hear about your decision to do that and how, I mean, it really takes some bravery and it really takes, a lot of work to get yourself to the place to take that step and make that jump. And it looks like your camera froze just a little bit, but I wonder if I can hear you. Can I hear your voice?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. Oh, there you are. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So it does require a lot of bravery. And like I almost feel like, oh Dana, you shouldn't brag about that. But no, it's true. It's like it's uncomfortable to make a change. And like when I told my partner, I'm like, I want to quit my job. It's a nice job. It's out of marina. I'm here training today. It's like it doesn't make sense, but I just felt so out of alignment in the job, and it was a great job. No stress, it was like I'm very thankful for the job that I had, but I just felt out of alignment. And I think Purium is a beautiful company. Like in all the things that I would want, and I've always spoke to what I would create for myself in a company: integrity, morals, for the people, community, of service. It's like this is what Purium is. And it's like, to me, it's I feel so literally blessed to have found this company and it be in my life right now, because it checks off all my boxes. I literally am going to help people transform their lives while being like abundant in wealth myself. So health and wealth. And it's like, before I would say, "Hey, I'm only here to be of service. I'm only here to help. I just want to help people." But I like, because I had shame around making money, I think, as a business owner and as a woman, I think we're programmed, and like this goes back ancestrally, like decades of like we're not worthy of making money or being our own owner, like bosses. And it's like, fuck that, like I'm a part of this company. I'm creating myself uh with like in health and wealth, and I am offering this opportunity to everybody else who wants to jump on board, and it's like, to me, a legit no brainer. It's like, I don't know, like I've only been here a week, and I just trust so much in what this company is going to offer me and what it's going to offer everybody that I come into contact with. But it's like, you make your own schedule. You're helping people transform their life for better. Like, there's no ickiness around that. I've had sales jobs before where it was like, oh, I'm not feeling too good about this. I'm not feeling passionate about it. I don't want to actually do this. But it's like, man, if you are a light worker, or you are here to be of service, or you feel like you want to help heal the world, you want to help change the world, you want to create a community base, you want to, like, be that person who then brings it to other people. It's like, I don't know, I can't speak more to it than it's just, if it feels in alignment for you in your health and wealth, or something that you want to create change in your life, then reach out to, Barbara, and look into it and check into it. Like, if it only if it feels good for you, right? It's like, hey, we're not here to sell you on anything. We're literally here to just be a channel of all the good things. And if it feels right for you, if there's and that gut feeling is telling you to go do it, go do it. Don't let your brain talk you out of it. Don't let your brain then come in and say, well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, what about this? This is where you learn to support yourself through those uncomfortable decisions. And it does take bravery. But I quit my job a year and a half ago, and my life has changed 180. Like, and it's like, I I just hope that the energy is felt, and because it's hard to put into words, of the difference of the life that I now experience, because I made the uncomfortable choice to make change in my health, in my circumstances of a career,
Yes. Oh my gosh, you really said it all. I mean, the no pressure aspect of what you're speaking to also has been really impressive to me because, at first I had some reservations. Like a lot of people talk about like MLMs and network marketing, and they don't really understand it because they're not on the inside of it and they don't see it from our perspective. But there's
Mhm.
essentially different tiers of network marketing. And there are companies that are very exploitative, and they're using this model for the purposes of making more money at the top. Okay. Which is known as a pyramid scheme, which is actually illegal and absolutely not what we practice at Purium. There's another tier of network marketing, which is really following the legal standard model, which is that we're just using our networks together without having a brick and mortar, which by the way can save the planet because you're lowering our carbon footprint and everything else. We're not spending all that gas money to go back and forth to a brick and mortar every day. That electricity bill at that brick and mortar doesn't exist. All of those things. Okay. So there's lots of ways that actually network marketing is really impactful in the world. So this middle tier of network marketing, they're providing a product, they're doing it in an honest and legal way. The people that work with them are making money, probably making a lot of money, and they're providing a product. Our tier of network marketing is very different because of, like you said, the integrity of our company. The product that we offer, which I don't even like to call a product because it's whole food nutrition. It is whole food, organic, regenerative nutrition that creates some.
Oh no.
Ooh, it kicked me off for a second. I think I lost my
Uh,
connection. Anyways, back on track. So that model of what we create, of what Purium creates, which is this basically an online grocery store of really good quality superfoods to help people work on their self-care and regenerate their cellular activity in their body. Okay. That integrity that we have for the way that we care for the soil, the water, the produce, and our customer is reflected in the way also that the company cares for us as people that are offering this food. And they literally train us not to be pushy. And they literally train us in how to guide people towards well-being and how to help people into their self-realization and self-empowerment. And so I think it's just a really important point for people to understand. I hands down have to like pinch myself sometimes in realizing that I've actually found a company to work with that really truly aligns with every aspect of who I am. And anybody that knows me as a human being, and anybody that witnesses me in the way that I speak about life and the way that I speak life through my imagination into being knows my imagination and they know my integrity. And so for me to say that is extremely powerful because I know that people trust me because I know that I've been a trustworthy human being in their lives. And so I just encourage anybody that is looking for that in their life, that's looking for alignment, that's looking for integrity, that's looking for a way to impact their communities, their family, their self, and the world. I mean, we're literally saving the planet. We're literally saving lives. And so if you're into that, if you're into being and stepping into that kind of empowerment and being able to create an income in that way, I encourage you also to reach out to Dana, to reach out to myself and just learn more. And it's always no pressure. So come on in, come on in. We're here for you to answer all your questions. And Dana, I just want to tell you how awesome it's been to talk to you. Your voice is really so powerful. And I just love the way that you're able to put things into words. And I honor you for everything that you're doing. And I know that we'll get to do this again. So we'll come up with some more fun
yes.
to talk about. So let's go out, everybody, and embrace some change today in the world together. And thank you, Dana. Lots of love. Mwah.
Have a great day. Bye.